Hey guys, so I got a quick anime news today. This is relating to the whole Trump tariffs that he wants to implement on making movies or films outside of the US. And this will impact anime in particular because anime is usually not made in the US. It's usually made outside the US, especially in Japan, with Japanese studios like Mappa, Madhouse, Toei Animation, etc. So this is a big problem. This is an iPhone screen rant around 2 days ago. So that'd be what, May 5th, 2025. And it says it will destroy anime as the US explores foreign film tariffs, which is a dumb idea. The anime industry is bracing for a major hit. Yeah, this is going to be really bad. As anime and manga have seemingly reached peak popularity in the US, some concerning news now has arrived and is threatening the way fans watch their favorite titles. 2024 was a record breaking year for the industry in terms of revenue generated from American audiences, which is true. Anime and manga has exploded in popularity. Manga has surpassed Marvel and DC in sales, which is insane. Anime has basically been surpassed any other type of animation style series. I mean, anime is so big; it's pretty much bigger than Disney, at this point. To the point that Disney has been trying to buy out a bunch of anime franchises because anime is that huge. Disney knows it. If they want to really get into the market and make money, you gotta buy franchises, preferably ones that can only be done within your company. So that's a big deal. They've been doing some original anime IPs also. Disney been working on that. Like Heavenly Delusion is one of them. But now with the whole Trump getting this new tariffs where he wants to implement 100% tariffs on any movies slash films made outside the US, this will obviously impact a lot of anime studios. It will impact any movie directors because a lot of movies done outside the US. Maybe not the entire film, but a lot of scenes are done in other places. Netflix, in particular, make a lot of shows where a lot of the scenes are not done in the US. They have shows that are done in South Korea. They have shows that are done in Japan or in parts of Europe. But in parts of Africa, it's that's normal, right? And a lot of times you want to export those expertise people experts in the fields in those countries. So it wouldn't be surprised if you're doing certain scenes or entire films in Africa, and then you hire people from that area to also work on the film. That's another thing too. So this is a big issue. How Trump administration is going to implement the 100% tariffs on films, movies outside the U.S. I don't know. It's a very dumb idea that's going to impact multiple industries within the field of film movies. So that's going to be animation. That's going to be documentaries. We already know BBC Earth. There's a bunch of documentaries that obviously not going to just be about the US, TV shows and all that. So we don't know how this is going to impact the industry because a lot of niche fields within the industries within the field of film, we have a lot of niche sub uh, fields also. So how would you focus on the animation if a lot of your work is outside the US? Maybe you have to do certain scenes or moments that is only going to be created by someone working in Japan, for instance. We know that a lot of scenery in many anime and manga series are not going to be done based on US stuff all the time. It's going to be a lot of it's done based on based on Japan's scenery. So you're going to get manga experts, you're going to get all these artists from Japan who's going to be working on that. And normally you're going to get the Japanese studios there too to work on the anime, right? Because that's why an anime is made by a Japanese studio, and that includes anime films, which we have several that have been coming out. Now I don't know how that's going to happen because with the tariffs, anything can happen. It's a big, big issue. This is really dumb. This is just isolating the U.S. from other countries. Trump calls for 100% tariffs, like I said earlier, on internationally produced movies, which is vague because that can be anything. Movies made in America, movies made in America again. That's just really stupid. Yeah, that's my Luffy's face is accurate to the situation, to how to react to Trump's. again, tariff situation. He wants to get rid of income taxes, at least for certain income households. But then he wants to implement tariffs on everything. So the people going to suffer the most from tariffs are going to be low income households and middle income households. Because people who make the least money tend to be the most impacted by sales tax tariffs, not by income taxes. And that's something that Trump doesn't want to say because he knows that in general, a lot of his supporters are poor, uneducated white people. That's most of his supporters. And he understands that from that demographic, they won't believe that, oh, taxes are the problem. So get rid of my income taxes. Not understanding that sales taxes are going to still screw them, which is mostly the main tax that is going to be very negative on the income. Tariffs are going to mess them up. And when companies, even after tariffs are removed, companies are going to still keep the same high prices. They're not going to go down. That happened last time. They keep the same high prices. They only go up, not down. Why? Because people are still consuming the products and services. So why lower the cost of your products and services if people are willing to pay double, triple what they used to be last year alone? They won't. So even with the tariffs coming now of the whole information of Trump, so even if he goes and now say, okay, no more tariffs on Chinese products, no more tariffs on movies made internationally, it doesn't matter because now the cost of it will remain really high. So you want to build a house, right? You want to build a building, you need steel parts. All the tariffs are also very high, and they're going to stay high as long as people are still consuming at that price. And if over time they're going to keep increasing it. The problem with this is that when you add inflation and job loss and no raises, people's salaries become stagnated. So then you are kind of stuck at making 50, 60K a year, but then everything costs double, triple from compared to months ago, and now you're kind of screwed. And that happens a lot. You don't have cost of living adjustment that matches inflation and tariffs at the same time. So even if you live in a state like, cool, I'm making six figures, I'm making 120K on my own, but now that 120K is not worth as much as it was back in December 2024. Now everything costs more, and now that 120K doesn't go as far. And if you live in a high cost of living state, such as Massachusetts, California, New York, Washington, New Jersey, Connecticut, etc., they have really expensive areas. And now, how are you going to afford to live in those places? It's going to be hard. But even if you move to a red state like Texas or Florida, they also getting pretty expensive for those people who live there. And the thing is, they also had less high-paying jobs and lower, if any, state minimum wage at all. Because a lot of times these Republican-controlled states have the minimum wage of the federal government, which is $7.25 per hour. So this all comes back to how you're gonna survive when everything's going up so much and you live on your own. Like assuming you're a single person, don't have a roommate or a partner supporting you, how you gonna be able to afford anything? And then you're supposed to sacrifice your happiness. So now you can have Netflix or Disney anymore to watch anime because you can't afford that anymore. Now while going to the movies is gonna cost you so much money to watch the anime in the film that you're gonna have to just skip it out just so you can get by. And then you go out less to restaurants because you can't really afford the prices of it. How is that a good thing for the economy? It's great for the rich and the wealthy who can manipulate the stock market and be able to make a profit by knowing when to buy certain stocks and selling them at the right time. It's market manipulation and it's all that shit. But for the low income, middle income households, it's gonna be a difficulty. And that's going to impact a lot of the things. It's going to make it harder for people to be able to see these movies. It's going to make it harder for smaller studios to make anime, to make any type of movies they want to do. So this going to really cause an issue where you have big studios, big companies are going to have monopoly, and then smaller companies are going to just disappear. They won't be able to exist. Trump's new policy will cause problems for the anime industry. We already know. Anime has been increasing dramatically. It has been making a lot of money. But with this whole situation with tariffs, what are we gonna do? Japan still doesn't know what Trump wants to do with the tariffs. They haven't had any deal made with Trump to kind of reduce at least the impact of tariffs. They still have the U.S. still have not made any deal with China. And remember, Trump is the one who started the whole tariffs war, right? The tariff war has been started by Trump. It's not like China did or Japan did, South Korea or Great Britain, Russia just started doing all these tariffs. Well, it was Trump. So as the president of the United States, he can do better than that. Why start a whole pointless tariff war just to benefit the few business around? Why? Yeah, you're gonna make money now, but in the long term, what's gonna happen to the children? You know, how are you gonna run these companies? It can be really bad. And highly anticipated anime movies may be affected by Trump's new policy. We don't know exactly how Trump is gonna implement this because just saying 100% tariffs on movies made internationally is extremely vague. Does that include anime? If it does it include TV shows on it or on the anime film? If it does, what happens when most anime series are made by Japanese anime studios? How they gonna be impacted? Because in the end, everything's gonna have to increase the cost for them to make a profit. So in the end, the consumer's gonna have to pay more so the companies can make a profit. That's the problem. So now what are we gonna do? We have Demon Slayer film that's supposed to come out later this year, right? September 12th, 2025. So what are we gonna do? All right, this whole thing is a big, big problem. So that was just the news I want to talk about today and give a little bit idea of how this is all caused by Donald Trump. So that's not put the blame. It's not on China. It's not the fault of China. It's not the fault of Japan or South Korea. It's not the fault of Europe. This is not the Middle East or Africa. It's not Australia. It's not South America or Central America. This is all Donald Trump. I just want to really emphasize that this whole issue is being caused by Donald Trump, and it's going to be a big problem for the regular audience. I'm hoping that maybe someone can talk to Trump in his cabinet and either tell him to not do this or find a way that makes sense out of it. I still don't understand what's the point of it because making movies outside the US makes sense and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not causing any issue for consumers. So, and it's not necessarily costing jobs. This whole situation with Trump adding the tariffs is causing people to lose jobs more. We already know the whole film industry and just the art field in general as a general sense of things. You know, I'm just gonna make a general statement. The art field has been kind of dying now with AI and all things kind of getting rid of actual human employees. You kind of can use AI to make YouTube thumbnails. You can use AI to write novels, songs, poems. You can use AI to basically bring back dead artists like Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra. You know, you can bring all these people back as if they're still alive. You know, you can make yourself sound a little bit better with AI when you can't even sing. You can use AI to make music videos for you, to come up with ideas for your PowerPoint presentation. A lot of jobs now that you could, you know, have hire someone to design your PowerPoint presentation, you know, help you with um, editing and all that. It's gonna be a little bit harder or a lot higher really with all these advancements. So now adding the tariffs on it, a lot of these people are going and unfortunately get fired because these companies want to cut costs. They're going to get rid of the people they're paying that were American citizens and residents working for these corporations in other countries when during the filming. Now they're not going to be able to afford them. Now they're going to hire maybe people from outside the US, so it'll be cheaper when making those films. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this whole situation with Trump trying to make tariffs 100%, trying to implement 100% tariffs, making movies outside the US. And if you agree with Trump's decision or not, if you don't, let me know why. If you do, you know, if you don't, let me know why you don't agree with Trump. And if you do agree with Trump, also let me know why. You know, maybe we can have a discussion, figure out the pros and cons of this. I only see cons right now, but maybe you guys can let me know who are more knowledgeable about tariffs, specifically tariffs regarding making movies outside the US or outside of a nation. Let me know if you guys ever dealt with that and if you know more about it. And if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Watching this on TikTok, follow us on TikTok, and I hope everyone has a great day.